What happens next will shake the nation. And you're wondering what in the world is going on, then you need to sit down, relax, and watch this video to the very end because we are about to break it down. Before we dive deep, if you haven't already, use your fingers right now and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell so you don't miss any part of this developing story. Now, let's get into the gist. To truly understand why this UN summons is such a big deal, we first need to appreciate the long and tangled legal battle that Nnamdi Kanu has been fighting. This is not a new story. It's a saga that has been going on for a decade. Let me give you a quick timeline so you are fully up to speed. 2015, Nnamdi Kanu was first arrested on charges like treasonable felony and terrorism. 2017, he was granted bail, but later that year, he fled after soldiers raided his home in Abuja State. 2021, this was the dramatic year. He was rearrested in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria in a manner that his lawyers and many international bodies have called an extraordinary rendition, meaning he was allegedly illegally seized and flown to Nigeria. He has been in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, since then. 2022, the Court of Appeal actually ordered his immediate release, stating that the charges against him were invalid. But the government refused to release him and appealed to the Supreme Court. 2023, the Supreme Court overturned the appeal court's decision and said the trial should continue on 7 counts of terrorism. 2025, the case was taken over by a new judge, Justice James Omotosho, who ordered an accelerated hearing. The case has been moving very fast this year. Kanu even fired his lawyers in October and decided to represent himself. He has consistently argued that the court has no jurisdiction to try him and that the government is using a repealed terrorism law against him. November 7th, 2025. Just recently, the court ruled that Kanu had waived his right to defend himself after he refused to open his defense, maintaining there was no valid law trying him. The judge has now fixed November 20th, 2025, that's just 3 days from now, to deliver judgment in the terrorism case. My people, can you see how tense the situation is? The judgment is in 3 days, and now we are hearing of a UN panel getting involved. So what exactly is happening now? The recent headline is based on a major move by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Just last week, on November 12, 2025, IPOB sent out what they called an SOS, Urgent Global Humanitarian Intervention, letter to 21 foreign diplomatic missions and international bodies. This includes the United States, the United Kingdom, the United Nations, the European Union, and many others. In this letter, they are pleading for the world to intervene and secure Kanu's release. They are saying his health is deteriorating in DSS custody and that his continued detention is a humanitarian concern. This is not the first time an international body has spoken about Kanu's case. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention had in the past also called for his release. So, this new appeal adds more international pressure on the Nigerian government. Now, let's talk about the specific issues Kanu's defense is raising in court, because this is crucial to understanding why the UN would be interested. Kanu's defense team is raising several serious alarms about the trial itself. They are calling the process dangerous and unlawful. Let me break down their main grievances. Trial under a dead law. This is their biggest argument. They say Kanu is being tried under the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013. But guess what? That law was repealed and replaced by the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022. They argue that you cannot try someone under a law that no longer exists. It's like trying to punish someone today for a traffic offense that was removed from the law books 2 years ago. They quote the Constitution, which says you can only be tried under a written law that is in force. Refusal to entertain objections. The defense team alleges that Justice Omotosho has repeatedly refused to listen to their objections, especially on the issue of jurisdiction and the constitutionality of the charges. In any legal system, these issues are supposed to be settled before a trial proper begins. Blocking them is, in their words, unheard of in Nigerian legal history. Blocking the final address. They also claim the judge has refused to allow them to file a final written address. This is a very important part of any trial. It's the last chance for the defense to summarize their arguments. They say blocking this is a clear violation of fair hearing. So, when you put it all together, Kanu's team is arguing that the trial is no longer following the rule of law and is heading towards a predetermined outcome. And it doesn't stop there. There is also a separate drama concerning Kanu's health. The court had ordered the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, to set up a panel to check Kanu's health because he had complained of serious issues like liver problems and a lump under his armpit. The NMA panel came back with a report saying Kanu was fit to stand trial. But Kanu has completely rejected that report. He has now filed a fresh lawsuit against the NMA and the doctors involved, demanding N50 billion in damages. He is claiming that the medical report was completely forged, that the doctors never even examined him, and that the report is a fabrication meant to mislead the court. He is asking for a new, independent medical examination. My people, can you see all the moving parts? The legal drama, the health drama, and now the international community being invited into the matter. Before we go further to talk about what the UN summons could mean and what might happen next, I need you to do something for me. If you are getting value from this explainer, if you are understanding the whole story better, please show some love. Like this video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell me, what do you think about the UN's involvement? Should the Nigerian government comply? Well, it's important to understand that a summons from a UN panel like the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention is a very serious diplomatic matter. It is not a court order that the Nigerian government is legally bound to obey inside Nigeria. However, it carries a very, very heavy weight. It is a major blow to the country's image on the global stage. When such a panel summons a country, it means they are formally asking the government to come and explain itself. They want to know, why is Nnamdi Kanu still in detention despite our previous opinion? What is the justification for the process of his arrest and trial? If the government ignores the summons, it sends a message to the international community that Nigeria does not respect international law and human rights procedures. This can affect things like foreign aid, international partnerships, and how other countries see our rule of law. It's a big stain on our reputation. Now, let's talk about the immediate future. The judgment is on November 20th. What are the possible scenarios? Let's break them down. Possible scenarios for November 20th. Conviction. The judge could find Nnamdi Kanu guilty on some or all of the terrorism charges. If this happens, he would be sentenced, and his legal team would immediately appeal the judgment all the way to the Supreme Court again. This would mean several more years of legal battles. Acquittal. The judge could find him not guilty and order his immediate release. This would be a massive victory for IPOB and his supporters. However, given the government's past actions, like refusing to release him after the 2022 appeal court ruling, there is a big question mark over whether they would comply this time. They could immediately file new charges or find another reason to keep him in custody. Case dismissed on technical grounds. The judge could also dismiss the case based on the powerful arguments raised by the defense, especially the issue of trying him under a dead law, the Repealed Terrorism Act. This would be a huge validation of his legal team's strategy and would likely lead to his release. No matter what happens on November 20th, it is very clear that this will not be the end of the story. The losing side will appeal, and the political and social tensions surrounding this case will continue. This leads me to a very important related talk. Why does this case matter so much, even to people who are not from the Southeast or who do not support IPOB? My people, this case is bigger than just one man. It has become a symbol for several critical issues in our country. The rule of law, at its heart. This is a test of our constitution and our legal system. Are the laws applied fairly to everyone? Can the government ignore court orders? Can a person be tried under a law that no longer exists? The answers to these questions affect every single Nigerian, because if the rule of law is weak for one person, it is weak for all of us. Human rights. The allegations of extraordinary rendition from Kenya, the concerns about health, and the fairness of the trial process are all fundamental human rights issues. How we treat people in detention, even those accused of serious crimes, says a lot about us as a nation. National unity. The agitation for Biafra is rooted in long-standing feelings of marginalization and a call for self-determination. The government's handling of Nnamdi Kanu's case is being watched closely by millions, and it will have a profound impact on the sense of belonging and the future of national cohesion in this country. So, you see, whether you support Kanu or not, the outcome of this legal and international drama will have consequences for Nigeria's future, both at home and abroad. Before we wrap up this part, I need you to do something. The YouTube algorithm is very powerful. If you want this channel to keep bringing you deep, well-explained gist like this, you have to show your support. Please, if you have not already, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you are the first to know when we drop the next update on this story. I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let's have a peaceful and intelligent conversation. What do you think will happen on November 20th? Do you believe the international community should be involved in Nigeria's internal affairs? Drop your thoughts below. This is a developing story, and things can change very quickly. We will be here to break it down for you in a way that you will understand. Thank you for watching. Stay informed and stay safe.